know there's that saying, like, people will forget half the things you told them or say to them, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And like that to me is a big barometer just on how I want to live my life. And
what do you do to get your head in the game if you're maybe not firing on all the cylinders you know you're capable of?
It's a lot of positive self-talk. That's really all it is.
Don't panic, right? I think you hit to that earlier in this slump.
I don't like the panic word. I like, accept where you're at and buck up and try to figure out how to change the idea that I'm some saint in this whole kind of vibe of life. Like, I'm still learning like everybody else, but I do have an appreciation for people. I try to treat them the best way I can. I try to have a reasonable mindset of, I love playing basketball. I've been blessed with so much success. It doesn't change who I am. Accomplishing things at the next level I had to earn with the work, and then I kind of do it in silence a little bit because nobody was really worried about me on the national scale until the 08 run at Davidson. And so all the way up to my sophomore year, like, I had to really earn everything because I was a late bloomer physically, like obviously the recruiting thing and stuff that's in the documentary, but that's all I've seen the game, so there's a gratitude that comes with it. And then, with all the accomplishments in the league, like there's a healthy insecurity that I have of like having to back it up every year. And so that drives me.
Underrated as a badge of honor for me, I feel like is a human and universal experience. It's something that at some point or another, everybody's felt that, whether they treat it as their life mantra or not, that's another thing. But I feel like everybody understands what it feels like to be underrated in some way, shape, or form.
I just love playing basketball. Like, no matter where it is, that helps, embrace the grind because, we've been doing this for a long time, and you realize how many games you played, how many hours you've been in the gym, how many miles you put on your legs. There's something freeing about putting that ball in your hand, just going to hoop. And so I still want to maintain that as much as I can.
Philippians 4:13. And I'm curious what that verse of Philippians is from the letters of St. Paul and what it means to you.
That's my source of strength and determination and my purpose, really, because, like anything that you do in life is going to require, that undying faith in yourself and the belief that you can conquer anything. And for me, through Christ, I get, my strength and I can do all things. And so,
and even now, it might not sound, it sounds crazy with the resume, but I still hold an underrated DNA with me in terms of, continuing to prove to myself what I'm capable of as I go through my career.
Be open to being coached because, it's the only way you're going to get to your full potential. It's the only way you're going to get exposed to where, you can like look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is what I need to work on. This is the strides that I can take to get to where I want to be. And kind of roll with that mindset. It's the hard part when you're at the top, like it's a daily reminder you have to come in with the right perspective because if one person slips or one rumor narrative cements itself in your head, like, I think the beauty in how I see it is always trying to be in the moment. And so like every season of life you're in, the highs and lows, you feel them, like you kind of live it hard in terms of what that experience is like, what lessons you learn, what adversity you go through, how you deal with success, how you deal with failure and all that. I just try not to make excuses, man. Like that's the biggest thing. There's times where you're tired and all that, but I can figure out where I can get rest and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, like look what we're all doing. Like we're doing things we love to do. I'm just living my life, and as the spotlight starts to grow and all that, you're dealt with judgments and expectations, and everybody just wants to know every step you take and all that stuff. And it's kind of uncomfortable at times because as humans, you react to stuff, like stuff that's said about you.
Especially your family.
Yeah, your family and all that type of stuff. And person to me is like want to take it in stride, and like you don't want to react to everything because you'll lose your mind. How fragile the game is, how fragile life is in terms of, nothing's really guaranteed. So I have an immense level of gratitude for everything that's happened since.
I remember what I heard was, what I couldn't do. And again, you have decisions to make when you hear that type of stuff, whether to believe it or not. And thankfully, I didn't. Thankfully, the positive self-talk kind of won out on all of those different episodes. And thankfully, you develop an ability to redirect some of that energy. Like even now, when you hear about, you washed up, the run's over, or past your prime or all that, you just take it as like almost a form of entertainment because like at the end of the day, I have a decision to believe that I'm capable of whatever you put your mind to, and that confidence comes on deserving it because of the work that you put in. It's not like a false just hype yourself up type vibe. It's not the end result. It's the process. It's the work. It's the grind. And I feel like anybody who's successful at anything, building an amazing brand in the world of entertainment, like you have, like you work for that. Like it's not something that you just woke up one day and you had. So like the reflection on all of that is about embracing it, right? You can't control what you do and do not hear, the distractions that come in, but the decision on what you do with that, you better be active in that decision, and you have to keep doing it over and over and over and over again.
You got to own your journey, like God gives you what's for you, and you got to walk in that. And you should have confidence, and I do. And it's built off like my work ethic, and the way I approach the game, life, and all that. You have to deserve that confidence, but I have a healthy insecurity of like understanding, like when he says me and Clay are the best shooting backcourt in the league, like I would never say that myself.
Right.
But I believe it.
Sure.
But then you're like, all right, cool. Now, what are you gonna do about it? Like going forward,
Right,
how are you gonna
right.
prove that to be true? And like that insecurity is like what's in that what's coming next.
Yeah.
I never feel settled in that.
Sure.
Expectation
Right,
or whatever
right.
the title or the banner they put up,
Yeah.
the headline or whatever it is. It's a weird kind of dichotomy because when I'm out there in the court, I feel like I can do anything. And even like getting to my, into the league where you start looking at like you said, what other people's playing times, what they accolades, what kind of money they get, and all that type of stuff. Like you're all human, it's hard to not observe and notice that stuff. But what's really important, making sure your priorities are straight and making sure you know what journey you on, what pace you on, like you said, like.
Where so you say the healthy insecurity, where does that, I've never seen that really. Like you don't show that much.
That's in the work that I put in though. Even like, case in point, last year we won the finals MVP, all that type of stuff. Celebrated, had an amazing night, parade, all that. 3 days later, I was really thinking about,
Right.
when does the work start for next year? Because I was extremely proud of myself and proud of our team and proud of everything we accomplished. Then you're looking like, it was like the imposter syndrome almost.
Yeah.
Like, all right. When I was at Davidson, man, I was 6'1", 160 pounds when I got there. And I found a coach that believed in me and gave me an opportunity to, just go out and hoop and learn through my mistakes. I had 13 turnovers my first game at Davidson. And he didn't say nothing. He said, just keep hooping, next play mentality, all that type of stuff. So I took that confidence through my college career into the league. And though I was still scrawny when I showed up back in 2009 playing Nelly ball, like I knew what I was capable of and I just put the work in. You have to control the controllables, and most of that is what you do, and not being in a situation where you're blaming anybody else or pointing the finger elsewhere, because there's probably something that you can do first to help the situation.